Let's take a look at Chapter 11. This chapter presents the important factors advertisers need to evaluate when considering the use of broadcast, cable, and satellite media in the creative mix. Each medium has its own characteristics, advantages, and drawbacks, and advertisers must be able to compare their merits and understand the most cost-effective ways to buy advertising time. Television networks and stations are available to advertisers in 4 principal forms: broadcast, cable, digital, and satellite. Broadcast networks can reach audiences by transmitting electromagnetic waves through the air across some geographic territory. Cable networks reach audiences exclusively through cable or satellite systems. Digital formats, such as Hulu and CBS All Access, afford consumers the opportunity to watch shows on demand. For consumers, satellite presents both pros and cons. Tech blogs suggest the pros include picture quality, cost, and accessibility. Countering these benefits are reliability, the need to install complicated hardware, and the requirement of a clear line of sight from the home to the satellite. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of broadcast TV advertising. Contemporary broadcast television advertising offers advertisers many advantages over competing media. These include mass coverage. A full 98% of all U.S. homes have a TV, and most have more than one. And viewing time for the average household averages over 8 hours. Relatively low cost. Despite the often huge initial outlays for commercial production and advertising time, TV's equally huge audiences bring the cost per exposure down to $2 to $10 per 1,000 viewers. Some selectivity. Television audiences vary a great deal depending on the time of day, day of the week, and the nature of the programming. Advertising messages can be presented when potential customers are watching, and advertisers can reach select geographic audiences by buying local and regional markets. Impact. Television offers a kind of immediacy that other forms of advertising cannot achieve, displaying and demonstrating the product with sound, motion, and full color right before the customer's eyes. Creativity. The various facets of the TV commercial, sight, sound, motion, and color, permit infinite original and imaginative appeals. Prestige. Because the public considers TV the most authoritative and influential medium, it offers advertisers a prestigious image. Hallmark, Xerox, Coca-Cola, and IBM increase their prestige by regularly sponsoring cultural programs on network TV. And last is social dominance. In North America, most people under 35 grew up with TV as a window to their social environment. They continue to be stirred by TV screenings of the Olympics, space travel, assassinations, wars, and political scandals around the world. Sometimes broadcast TV just doesn't fit the creative mix because of cost, lack of audience selectivity, inherent brevity, or the clutter of competitive messages. Let's look at high production costs. One of broadcast TV's greatest handicaps is the high cost of producing quality commercials. Depending on the creative approach, the cost of filming a national commercial today may run from $200,000 to more than $1 million. What about high airtime cost? The average cost of primetime network commercial ranges from $100,000 to $400,000. Special attractions like the Super Bowl cost over $4 million. The cost of wide coverage, even at low rates, prices small and medium-sized advertisers out of the market. In terms of limited selectivity, broadcast TV is not cost-effective for advertisers seeking a very specific small audience. And it's losing some of its selectivity because of changing audience trends. More women are working outside of the home or watching cable TV, hurting advertisers on network soap operas. Well, let's consider brevity. Studies show that most TV viewers can't remember the product or company in the most recent TV ad they watched, even if it was within the last 5 minutes. Recall improves with the length of the commercial. People remember 60-second spots better than 30-second spots. And then there's clutter. TV advertising is usually surrounded by station breaks, credits, and public service announcements, as well as 6 or 7 other spots. All of these messages compete for attention, so viewers become annoyed and confused and often misidentify the product. Then the DVR in the picture brings us to zipping and zapping. DVR users who skip through commercials when replaying recorded programs are zipping. Remote control users who change channels at the beginning of a commercial break are zapping. A 2012 survey conducted of respondents in the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, Sweden, China, and Taiwan suggested that 62% of global audiences use social networks while watching TV. In addition, 25% of viewers report that they discuss what they are watching in social media. Realizing the value of integrating the television and social media, Twitter developed tools that allow advertisers to discover when and where an ad runs on TV and to identify users who tweeted about the show that featured the advertiser's spot. Armed with this information, advertisers can buy programmed tweets to those users. Social media are also important in encouraging viewers to watch a program. 54% of the 18 to 34 age group and 48% of the 35 to 49 age group started watching a TV program because of online opinions and Facebook. Streaming media are also transforming the TV viewing experience. Audiences have many options for how and when they view their favorite shows. They may choose the appointment TV approach and watch when a show airs on a network. Alternatively, they may watch on streaming platforms like the ones provided by Hulu+, Netflix, or Amazon Prime. Or they may download their favorite show on Apple iTunes or Amazon. Some of this content features commercials like Hulu+. Some is commercial-free like Netflix. Television today is very versatile. For many years, it was strictly a mass medium, used to great advantage by the manufacturers of mass consumption goods. Thanks to the narrowcasting ability of cable TV, television can also be a highly selective niche medium. It's not unusual, for instance, to see ads for special feed for thoroughbreds and show horses on ESPN's Grand Prix of Jumping. And thanks to local cable, TV is now affordable for even small local advertisers. This makes it a very viable option for use in an IMC program. While single programs don't deliver the mass audience they once did, television is still the most cost-effective way to deliver certain kinds of messages to large, well-defined audiences. When it comes to awareness and image advertising, for instance, television has no rival. The same is true for brand reinforcement messages. Through its unique ability to deliver a creative big idea, television can impart brand meaning, the symbolism or personality of the brand, to either attract people to the brand or reinforce their current relationship with it. Historically, major U.S. advertisers purchased airtime from one of the national broadcast networks, such as ABC, CBS, NBC, or Fox. Cable has slowly eroded these audiences. In the 2003-2004 season, ad-supported cable networks pulled ahead of the U.S. broadcast networks in prime time for the first time in the history of U.S. television. Networks offer large advertisers convenience and efficiency because they broadcast messages simultaneously across many affiliate stations throughout the country. Broadcast networks tend to reach masses of American consumers, representing a cross-section of the population, while cable networks tend to reach more selective niches. An advertiser who underwrites the cost of a program is engaging in sponsorship. In a sole sponsorship, the advertiser is responsible for both the program content and the total cost of production. Sponsorship is so costly that single sponsorships are usually limited to specials. Companies that sponsor programs gain two important advantages. First, the public more readily identifies with the product due to the prestige of sponsoring first-rate entertainment. Second, the sponsor controls the placement and content of its commercials. Most network TV advertising is sold on a participation basis, with several advertisers buying 30 or 60-second segments within a program. This enables them to spread their budgets and avoid long-term commitments to any one program. It also lets smaller advertisers buy a limited amount of time and still get the nationwide coverage they need. Network advertising also has several disadvantages. These are lack of flexibility, long lead times, inconvenient restrictions, and forced adherence to network standards and practices, not to mention high prices. Costs can run high for a spot. For this reason, most advertisers decide to buy spot announcements. Spot announcements run in clusters between programs. They're less expensive and more flexible than network advertising because they can be concentrated in specific regions of the country. Therefore, local businesses are frequently seen on spot schedules. An advertiser with a small budget or limited distribution may use spots to introduce a new product into one area at a time. Or an advertiser can vary its message for different markets to suit promotional needs. Spots may run 10, 15, 30, or 60 seconds and be sold nationally or locally. Spot advertising is more difficult to buy than network advertising because it involves contacting each station directly. The national rep system, in which individuals act as sales and service representatives for a number of stations, alleviates this problem. Spot advertising is available only at network station breaks and when network advertisers have not purchased all of the available time. So spots may get lost in the clutter, which is why they tend to have less viewers and a smaller piece of the ad spending pie. Sales of programs on a station-by-station, market-by-market basis include inventory, which is commercial time available to advertisers, off-network syndication, which is the availability of programs that appear on networks to individual stations for rebroadcast, first-run syndication, which are programs produced specifically for the syndication market, and barter syndication, which is the marketing of first-run television programs to local stations free or for a reduced rate because some of the ad space has been pre-sold to national advertisers. Syndication is the sale of programs on a station-by-station, market-by-market basis. In other words, a producer, for example Warner Brothers or Disney, deals directly with stations, often through a distribution company, rather than going through the network. This efficient direct-from-the-factory approach gives local TV stations more programming control and greater profits. It also gives advertisers access to inventory or commercial time that they might not get on network programs, often at better prices. Syndication has become the largest source of programming in the United States. Infomercials aren't new, but their respectability is. 10 years ago, most program-length ad users were off-Madison Avenue marketers of hand mixers, juicers, and car waxes. Today, major marketers such as P&G, Microsoft, and Pfizer have ventured into the infomercial arena. And why not? Proactive, an acne medicine built largely on the basis of infomercial promotions, now has sales in excess of $1 billion. TV product placements occur when advertisers showcase their brands within television programming rather than commercials. Product placements offer advertisers several important benefits relative to traditional commercials. First, advertisers are increasingly concerned that many viewers avoid watching commercials. By placing a brand within the show, advertisers can minimize the impact of commercial avoidance. Second, having brands appear within programming offers advertisers the chance to link their product with popular characters. Third, the use of product placement helps advertisers avoid the credibility issues that surround commercials. Viewers know that commercials, as sponsored messages, represent the biased viewpoint of the advertiser. But brand appearances in programming may help advertisers do an end run around such credibility problems. The appeal for advertisers who purchase time on gas station TV is that the audience is basically tethered at the pump for an average of 4 to 4.5 minutes, according to GSTV CEO David Leader. His company offers national and local advertisers the chance to present standard-length commercials with ad costs that are comparable to cable spots. The companies that measure the program audiences of TV and radio stations for advertisers and broadcasters are called rating services. These firms pick a representative sample of the market and furnish data on the number and characteristics of the viewers or listeners. Companies subscribe to a service and use it as a basis for planning, buying, or selling media advertising. Sweeps refers to the 4 month-long periods, February, May, July, and November, when TV markets are measured for station viewing habits and demographic data to help set advertising rates. Reliable information on the audiences for cable programs is even harder to gather. Traditional techniques often rely on too small a sample to be statistically significant. So major cable programming services provide their own reports of audience viewerships by show.